Crystal Lake Chamber of Commerce presents Chamber Chatter with your host, Drew Casaccio.
Hello, everyone. My name is Drew Casaccio, your humbled chamber representative from the Crystal Lake Chamber of Commerce, coming to you from the 21-6 Creator Studios here in McHenry. This is Chamber Chatter. Our mission is to help level up your business, help the community by building relationships with our members. In the production booth, we got the Gentle Giant, the Wizard on the Google Box, Nick Kubiak, our marketing specialist. Say hey, Nick.
Hey, everybody.
Today, we have Zachary, Ryan, and Karen Owens in the studio. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for coming. We're going to be getting to you guys, talking a little bit about your stories and what you guys do and how you do it. First, Nick, what do we got? What's new? Anything happening? Any ribbon cuttings that we need to talk about? I'll tell you what, we went to the Pink Door, right? That ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Their whole organization is a not-for-profit, and they do great things for great people. So when I was there, I bought a, what is that called? Like a KitchenAid for my mother-in-law. I think it was like brand new.
Oh, wow.
And
Nice.
so I support it. So feel free, folks, go out over there, check them out, support them, do whatever you can do.
Yeah, they just opened up their furniture showroom.
They expanded it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the whole reason behind the ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
Super cool. They have a ton of antiques, a ton of furniture, a lot of cool stuff. It's one of the oldest thrift stores in McHenry County.
Wow. Wow. That's a fun fact. What was the other one we did? That was the Fork It Foods.
Yeah, Fork It Foods.
What did you think of that one?
Other than the delicious food, their event space, really cool, really modern decor, just very cool space.
Well, and they do the grind, right? So have you ever seen like the decorative, like they do the salamis and the cheese and the grapes?
Yeah, we've got.
I brought a box back,
Yeah.
and then I bought one last Friday to go to a girls' night too.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. So like a guy my size shouldn't be in there. But I was, and they had samples.
I
and
was
then
with
stayed.
you.
They have
I think I
berries.
was
Yep.
like, yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, I was in that new space they got there for
Mhm.
like a venue.
Yeah.
Wow. That was pretty fun too.
Mhm.
Other than that, we got sponsorships still open up, right? We got what's coming up next that we need to.
Let's see, our big ones. We have community cleanup coming up on 4/22. That's on Earth Day this year, so
Oh,
super
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
So come out to the chamber on 4/22. We'll have breakfast, coffee. If you come back at noon, we have hot dogs, but we'll assign you a park to clean, and you go clean the park and help keep the community clean.
Yeah, they were telling me, it's like, get your kids out there. I'm like, I can't get my kids to clean their room. Gonna get them to clean a park. But yeah, the bigger team, there's a contest for that, right?
There is. If you have a organization or business, the business or organization with the most people, the most volunteers, will be crowned the corporate challenge champion. Last year, or past like 2 or 3 years, it's been First Institute.
Yeah.
So I think it might be time to knock them off the pedestal.
Whoa.
I did
so-
send that to everybody at A to Z. We were thinking about doing that too. So
That's
Guys, come
Mhm.
out and rock the boat.
Mhm.
bring the
Pleasure.
kids, right?
When?
Everybody can come.
Get your
Everybody.
street cred.
I got
Sam.
that, bro.
He's already got that. People know me. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, folks, don't forget to support your local chamber.
Mhm.
If you're curious and you're not a member of the Crystal Lake Chamber, feel free to reach out. What's the best way for them to do that, Nick?
Visit clchamber.com or give us a call at 815-459-1300 and talk to any one of us. There's 5 of us, me, Drew. We got community outreach events coordinator Chris Parkin. If it's a money question, talk to Wendy. If it's cash, just give it to me or Drew.
Yep.
And then
Or
we
make
have-
it out to cash.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have our president, Randy Legee. So
How fun.
we're available. Talk to us if you have questions.
Also, real quick, throw out a reminder. If you haven't attended the membership workshop, it's a networking. Karen, you've been there several times, I
have
think.
been there.
And what do you think of it?
Oh, I like it. It's great to meet new
Yeah.
members, and you get
Good.
some treats too. So.
Yeah, well, I give out treats. There's donuts.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
always donuts or
And
some
you
kind
had
of.
summer moon coffee last
Summer Moon
time,
coffee
and yeah,
came
it's
in,
good.
yeah.
I think it's good to it's a good way to get to know everybody in the community too.
Yeah. And you can come more than once, folks. Just come in, meet new people. And we go over all the new stuff, and we update it all the time about, how to utilize the tools that you get the best value out of your membership. So, Zach, I know that you have Karen do everything for you because you're kind of a big deal. But, you feel free to come too. People get to see your face because you're going to be cracking them up and doing all the wrestling moves on them over at A to Z Chiropractic.
Is that at night?
No, it's during
Thursdays.
That's why.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Other than that, I think we're going to move on to Zachary Ryan. So do you like to be called Zach, Zachary,
Dr. Zach,
Dr. Zach, Dr. Z, Z-Man?
Bro, you're taking them all, yeah.
Z Diddy.
Z Diddy,
Ooh.
Zach, Dr. Zach, Big Z.
Big Z.
Yeah.
It's a couple names.
So
Literally whatever you, what's up, dude? That's fine too.
So real quick, I went to your ribbon cutting, and you guys hooked me up to this thing that can kill a horse, I think.
ARP.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
ARP
And you were like, well, this thing will thread all the way up to like 100. It's not the little pads, guys, that you put on your body that you order from Amazon and it pulsates.
Yep.
This thing is like, it goes up to 100, and he's like, how do you, and I'm like, he's like, how you feel it? I'm like, yeah, man, that's really hitting it hard, and he's, well, hey, what number do you think that's at? And I'm like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60. He's like, that's at like 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the point of it going to 100?
So
full automation.
well, yeah. Let's see what you can do. So the little thing you're talking about, which would be like a TENS unit, is the
Correct.
thing that most people are familiar with. And honestly, most of the time when people try ARP for the first time, they're like, oh, I have one of these at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you don't. The thing that you have at home literally goes to 10, and it only contracts 2 times a second. ARP contracts 500 times a second, and it's just a totally different therapy. But that's why it's so intense. Like all those muscles are moving so much in that short amount of time. The benefit to getting to 100 is if you literally had no problems in, what do we do, your shoulder?
My shoulder, yeah, I have shoulder.
Your
issues.
shoulder, you would go very high because it's picking up on deficiencies in the body. So the more damage in there, the more inflammation, whether it's a tear, whatever it is, you start at a lower number because that's pretty much, the machine doesn't have to work very hard to make that problem appear. Whereas if it's a completely healthy tissue, it has to work very hard to make it come up. Yeah. So how we track progress on that a lot of times is like the number on the machine, right? When you're talking about going to 100, most people start their first session, I would say between like 10 and 20. And then it's just a progression. You're supposed to get 25% improvement each time you do it. We've only had probably 3 people get to 100.
Wow.
Because it's just so much.
Challenge accepted.
But there's a lot of people that get complete resolution of pain, and we probably get to 40 or 50, but they have no pain. They have full motion. But I mean, it's like, there's no other therapy like it.
Well, that was, it helped my shoulder. Like the next day I was like, holy cow, that's, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And they made me do exercise. You guys made me do exercise.
Yeah.
Like the PVC
while it
pipe,
was on,
I think.
I'm like, this is torture.
So that's another big difference. Like on a TENS unit, it's literally making your muscles fight. So you are not supposed to do movement. It's all for temporary pain relief. That's why you can buy it on Amazon. You take an Advil, Tylenol, or you're using a TENS unit. Whereas this, it's promoting muscle activation and contraction. So you are supposed to do the movement that muscle's involved.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why.
That helped. I had, what did I tear my groin muscle? And I was working out, and I was thinking I was like young, and I did like a jump squat, and I could not walk. And when I say, like, Zach was like, do not say you work here. Do not wear an A to Z shirt. I was like, it was so painful, and it healed it in what, 4 days?
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, and so we
and
have,
it's like a 4 to 6 week.
yeah. So we have a diagnostic ultrasound in the office too. So you could take images of muscles, tendons, ligaments, joints. So that confirmed that she had a tear in her hip flexor.
Oh, my hip flexor. Yeah.
Or maybe it was your adductor, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So
The old adductor.
But people were literally pushing me, no joke, in a chair.
I pushed her back in a computer chair from the front office back to my treatment room.
Wow.
And my kids are literally watching her, and she's like in tears.
I was trying to do like ARP, and he was holding my hand. We were trying to do, I couldn't, I just had tears, and they're like, why is Karen crying, Dad? And I was like, because it hurt. But it helped. Like, I took it home. I slept with it on. Like, it was just, it was awesome.
So ARP stands for Accelerated Recovery Performance. It is literally meant to speed up a recovery of a tissue. We have done some for fractures in the office. So something for her that should have taken multiple weeks, literally in less than a week.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then too, the was a kid from Central, the football player. He had that fracture, and that healed
in 5 weeks, which should have taken 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty
great. I think it's
Where was that when you were doing basketball?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. You guys do anything for torn ACLs?
So the first time that I had heard of ARP, are you a football fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would assume most people know who Adrian Peterson is.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
So I'm a Vikings fan, so this one hit home to me. Oof. But after he tore his ACL, ARP was like the number one therapy that he did. And I don't know if you know this, but he came back in 9 months, which is usually a 12-month injury, and he got the rushing record that year, for that season.
Yeah.
Wow. I think he got like 2,000 yards or something. But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, for
that's amazing.
athletes, I mean, it's a huge thing, and we're the only office that can have it within a 15-mile radius.
Oh, that's
really?
Huge.
Yeah, they give you exclusivity when you sign up.
So how many people did you have to knock off the block to make sure you were the one?
Bro,
you know what I mean? We don't talk about that.
I plead the fifth.
The best part was when you first got it. Can I talk about New Year's Eve? And you had just got it. And you were trying to test us out.
I want all the dirt.
And we were playing maybe a drinking game of how high people could
water.
It was water, but that was so intense. And to see, I mean, that's when you first got it, like years ago. Yeah.
It's just like when you're in chiropractic school, like
you're like
practicing,
practicing
as many people as you can because you're like, I want to figure this out. I want to get good at it.
So we were basically his friends were the little guinea pigs.
They put this on your forehead.
Yep.
No, but it was actually really cool. And you just Botox. See like
why do I taste copper and smell burning? I don't know.
It's fine.
I don't know. You're fine.
Going.
No, but that is actually I think one of the amazing things there. Like, once you start doing that and you have an injury, you're like, okay, put ARP on it, or just it's a great therapy.
It just fits the office so well because we're not the snap crackle pop out the door,
right?
So like we do a lot of therapies. So to have an additional therapy that gets somebody better quicker, and the scope of things that we can treat broadened so much once we brought ARP in. Because there's only so much you can do with adjustments and muscle work and stuff like that, right? If somebody has neuropathies or they can't feel their foot or carpal tunnel, like there's only so much you can do. Where this, like, it's just amazing.
Well, and you could do like those foot baths and stuff with it too,
so you
right?
put your feet
or the
in water
hands too,
while you're hooked up to the electricity.
Yeah.
Which is that's
literally. Is there a toaster in there too?
I was gonna say, I'm like, can we just save money and grab the toaster and jump in the tub? I mean,
usually it's the spouse paying me to have.
No, that actually
don't try that at home.
That feels so good too. Like because I think I've obviously done everything there, but like that foot bath, there was something I don't know. God, it's like I injure myself a lot, but I don't know. It was something I worked out with, but just that foot bath like helped it. Like relief of it was crazy.
Wow. When we start a podcast, we're gonna do a video on it so people can see like.
That's awesome.
What it's actually doing.
Yeah, we have some videos like on our Instagram and stuff too of just that like hand bath because you had to do that too, especially you adjusting so many people and
hairdressers, dental assistants, anybody like using their hands in like weird ways all the time, massage therapists, chiropractors,
and just people you think even just being on the computer or like holding your phones. I don't know about you guys, but like
entry,
don't you?
All day,
like your hands get so tight, especially you doing like all the Oh, your hands don't get tight. Okay.
No, I got massive hands.
He's got paws. He's got giant bear paws.
The gentle giant.
Right. Tries to pick up putties. You know what's really cool? I really want to know the story. So, first of all, A to Z. That's everything under the sun, right? That's soup to nuts in chiropractic, right? Is that you guys handle everything. So it's not like a normal chiropractic's office where you go in, you get adjusted, then you make your next appointment. You guys have physical therapy, deep tissue massage. Yeah. You do anything and everything that relates. Is that correct?
Yes, but I will say like we've never taken on like some sort of therapy or whatever it is just to have it. Like everything we took on was like one step by one step, and it had to be proven to me that it was going to work. Like I don't like, there's a adjustment called activator, which is like this little clicker thing. And I just personally, I don't love it because I like to feel the hands-on like motion. And I like to feel hands-on when I'm working on a patient. So yes, A to Z does cover it all, but the name A to Z came from my wife's grandma, because my wife is Ashley. I'm Zach, obviously. A to Z.
Okay.
Mhm.
And she's
Well,
like,
that's-
Aw,
that makes sense.
everybody.
Now that makes
Aw.
sense.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was just
Aw.
you saw Amazon.
so then it just
Yeah.
worked, and I was like, oh dang, okay. But
It's got more than one meaning at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Mhm.
awesome.
yeah, so we do treat most things under the sun, not everything. Another thing I would say that sets us apart is we are not of the belief that chiropractic is the end all be all, right? Like, I do believe in Western medicine.
Mhm.
I think there's a time and place for each profession, and I like to be the bridge between that gap of medical doctors and chiropractic, or chiropractors and PT, because there's a huge battle between everybody.
There's a disconnect with that, right?
It's all like a turf war, essentially, right?
It
like,
is.
like, I don't want to send my patient to you, because then, like, what if they don't come to me? Like, I don't want that. I want your patient to
Mhm.
come to both of us. And if you send them to me and we're good, I feel like they're going to trust you more, right?
Mhm.
But
Well, you're
like,
looking out for your patient,
right,
you know what's best for your patient.
Which
if
is
it's
why-
neat, great. If it's not great,
100%.
let's figure it out.
Which
Yeah.
is why we brought PT on. So we hired Dr. Evan, who's a physical therapist. We got him from Athletico in Crystal Lake, or in Cary. But you do start to lose a little bit of your patient care if you send them somewhere else, because it's like you're trying to follow up and it's just not as easy. And I didn't want to be overlapping what the PT was doing, or I didn't want to, like, oh, they said to do this. Nah, I think you should do this, because I don't think that that's right. Like, you need to respect what that provider's
Yeah.
saying, because they're educated. So it just works well in the office, because, like, Dr. Evan can be like, yo, I saw this. This is what I'm doing. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll do this.
Okay.
So it just works really well. I mean, I think that more offices should do that, honestly.
What got you involved with being a chiropractor? What drove you to it?
Luck.
Really?
I'd never been adjusted before. I had no idea what chiropractic was. After I graduated undergrad, I was going to go to dental school, and people that I graduated with were going to chiropractic school, and they're like, you should just go check it out. I was like, all right, I'll see what it's about. So I took a trip out to California. I went to Palmer West, and I went to a couple triathlons that they were treating at, and I'm like, man, they do like a lot of different things. I feel like I would like this more than playing in someone's mouth all day. So
Right.
I applied and I got accepted, and I was like, all right, I think I'm going to do this instead. I remember my first adjustment in school, and I was like, what the hell was that? And there was, I mean, you adjust as you go because you're learning, right? And there were some kids that adjusted me, and I'm like, bro, you're never touching me again.
Right.
But a lot of our teachers were chiropractors. So then after learning in class all day, you could go get adjusted by a teacher and be like, all right, you're all good to go. And my wife just so happened, she thought she was calling the Florida campus, and she called the San Jose campus in California, and she ended up going there. So I was like,
Wow.
Yeah.
So she's in it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. That's where we met.
Family business.
It is now.
Named after the family.
It is
It's
now.
all about the family.
It definitely, you guys definitely treat people like family too.
Yeah.
Well, I
We
would
do,
have to
like,
say
yeah.
so. And I met Karen. We had a one-on-one
Mhm.
for the chamber, and Karen is actually pretty well known through several different communities,
Oh, her head's getting
different
bigger.
groups.
Fan, please.
Did I say all that stuff right? That's later. You pay me later. No, so
Yeah.
fun group, guys. I'll tell you what. When I went into your office, my family comes to you now,
Mhm.
and I was sitting there, and a song came on. Soldier Boy
Yeah.
came on,
Oh gosh.
and Zach pops out of his office and starts doing this dance. And then I look, and there's people popping out of their office. I felt like I was in an episode of Glee, and that happens on a daily there.
Yeah.
So you guys
Yeah.
are fun. You're not your typical.
No.
This is your profession. This is what you do. You have fun for what you do. You really enjoy it. You're very
Yeah.
passionate
Yeah.
about it.
I think you're
you know what you're
making
doing.
people feel so comfortable where
Ab-
like people are just like,
I feel like I'm family there.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
at your ribbon cutting, you had whiskey. That was awesome. I couldn't.
Water.
At the ribbon cutting, actually,
It was
had
a bottle of
a hot
water.
chocolate bar. That was a different event, I think. And then I had whiskey.
Oh no,
'cause
was that a mixer?
I didn't want to sound like I
Was
made
that a
it.
mixer? That was a
in-
mixer.
yeah,
That was
like
a
in the morning, I was like,
Right.
okay, guys, I knew I gotta go to work, but
I
here's
didn't
what.
know you guys.
No,
were at
we
a
did, like,
speakeasy
a
at night where you
little-
locked the door,
No, we
right?
did like for the ribbon cutting, like a little hot chocolate bar. Remember? Because I was like, Drew, do you want?
Oh,
you're
that's
like,
right. I had the hot
sprinkles,
chocolate.
please.
That's right.
No, but yeah, then we did the mixer and we did have that. So
It was awesome though.
Yeah.
It was, you know,
It was
people.
well, you just like it's like you want to make people feel
Right.
so comfortable, and I think like that's why because I my husband met Zach, and then he's like, can you just go to him? And I was like, oh, fine. I was going somewhere else, and I was like, dude, what I really now I got to go to A to Z because you just felt
Is
like
that how
that.
you two met?
Yes.
Yeah, so my husband and Zach were in a BNI group together, and
Yep.
then and you guys would even go to the meetings, be like, okay, well, we're just gonna have coffee. We're just, and then they became friends, and so that's the story.
Yep.
Mhm.
Nice.
But I definitely felt like that. Like it was just like, I mean, I used to text him like every day. Can you adjust me? Because I have really bad allergies. We might have some video. We will not show that here. And he used to make fun and be like, "Oh, my head is killing me."
It literally
And
how
I-
she would sound on the phone.
But I felt
my sinuses, I need to get adjusted.
so
and then
much.
she'd leave and she'd be like,
That's actually true. And then, so I always say, I think I've said that many times before. I said, well, I always used to say nice things about him. Now he just pays me to do that. And he's like, can we go back to that, please? But no, in all honesty, it definitely is like a family feeling. And everybody, I mean, even we had a patient this morning and she's having some kind of surgery and we're all like, oh, we need to make sure, we were like, text us if you need anything. And I mean, we will definitely follow up with that too. And I think people appreciate that. It's not just somebody like you go in and it's 3 minutes. I mean, I've had people tell me that. Actually, I had a girl from a guy I know from high school, and he just follows me on Facebook, and he sent his wife who lives in like Schaumburg, and she's like, "Are you Karen?" And I was like, "Who's asking?" and and she's like, "Oh, my husband, just said he watches your videos and he sees you guys, whatever." So she said the last person she went to, was like 3 minutes in and out, and she couldn't believe like how people take their time. And you actually do, I mean, it's not just like a number, right? You're not. So that makes me, and plus I think the fact that when people are like, oh, do I have to come back like 3 times? I'm like, and Zach's like, I don't know, come back when you want to, so like people feel
when you have an owie, then come back.
Yeah.
Right?
So people don't just, feel that like pressure and things like that. So,
right, yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. What are the benefits outside of just being adjusted? Does it help people on the spectrum? Does it help mental?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps different people in different ways.
Mhm.
Like I don't know how to really say it. So like let's say like babies, right? So if they have torticollis, which is like a spasming of this muscle, and then it's painful for them to turn their head, we get very good results with that and not a lot of treatments. And a lot of it is teaching the parents, like, this is what you need to do at home. This would be the stretches you have to do. So babies, it's more like stuff like that, or ear infections or constipation. And there's a different way to do it. Little kids, it can be like ADD, ADHD. On the spectrum, just in general, they like deep pressure, right?
Mhm.
They like the feeling of having someone touch their back.
Yeah.
And they just tend to respond to that very well.
Yeah.
I think there's a good way to do that and to let them get comfortable with the situation. I remember the first autistic kid that I had to adjust, and his mom literally sent me, it was probably 50 questions before they came in. And she like full on interviewed me. I was just straight honest.
Sure,
and I'm
yeah.
like, I don't have a ton of experience, but like, I do know
Mhm.
this, and this. And the kid came in and she's like, you're probably going to have to like follow him around. And I went room to room, and every time he'd lay down on a table, I'd work on him a little bit until he went to a different table, and I'd work on him a little bit. And then he just got super comfortable. And then they would be at some place and he'd just be in the back, like, Dr. Zach, Dr. Zach, Dr. Zach. I'm like, I think the first time she told me that, I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
We have a couple of
That's awesome.
like
Yeah.
one of our patients, and she just loves you. Like she walks in and it's like right to Zach.
Yeah.
And even yesterday I was like talking to her, and Zach, he was adjusting like this, and then he stopped for a second, and she
grabbed my hands and put them back on her
like,
shoulder.
yeah.
Keep
and
doing it.
it's
And her mom said, I'm the only one that she has ever let like
Mhm.
fully
Do that.
adjusted.
Yeah. Wow.
and
great.
that's really cool to see. And even like a couple of the other ones, like with Down syndrome, like one
Yeah.
of them is like, what did Nora call it? Popcorn?
Oh, yeah.
Because you were
Soft
like, and she
popcorn,
she ran back, and her mom's like, she wants popcorn.
You
And
have to
then,
describe it differently.
yeah,
to, like,
yeah.
kids, right? They
So,
don't-
but
they
it's
don't
like,
understand.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you?
we're going to manipulate your spine. And
Yeah.
what that means is we're moving this.
Yeah.
Those electro signals that are going to your brain aren't functioning properly.
Yeah.
So.
But it's cool to see that.
And then I think like once you get to like athletes, right? There's a huge thing of like if you're making everything move together and you're keeping proper motion, you're doing injury prevention, right? And we do a lot of soft tissue work. We have massage, we do ARP, we have dry needling, we have PT. So that's a huge thing for athletes. For people like our age, motion in general is good. You'll never hear us tell somebody, look at this x-ray, because we don't do x-rays in the office, but like you have a subluxation at this level and that's going to cause this. It's not like that. And nothing is ever, this is such a weird thing for people to hear, probably a chiropractor say, but it's not misalignment. It's dysfunction of motion, right? So like, let's take 3 segments. We'll go T5, T6, T7. Maybe T6 isn't moving in proper motion with 5 and 7. That's where the problems come in because you got these other 2 moving, and then that'll cause dysfunction in muscle, and you get muscle spasms and tension, and then you get pain. It's just a cycle. If you think you're coming in and you have C2 that's 2 millimeters out of alignment, I'm not going to do a little adjustment, and it's just going to, it's not really how it works.
It doesn't how it works. Right?
And if you see a lot of teenagers, they like to crack their own neck, right?
Yep. I used to do that all the time.
So I will have them like on their first visit, they'll tell me this and like, what do I need you for? Like, I can do this. And I was like, all right, do it. And they'll sit there and they'll do their thing. And I'm like, okay, now get on the table and I'll feel around and I'll adjust them and it'll be, and they're like, I don't understand.
Right.
Well, you repeatedly move the same things that already move. You're not moving the things that don't move. And that leads to a problem, right? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That was that
and,
kid.
and that makes sense. That makes sense to them.
Oh, was this guy, right?
Yeah. Yep. 100%. My brother-in-law literally
just
whips
his head.
I cannot adjust this guy. There's no end range, and that's not good.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a comedian once that I saw, and he said, like, when you're our age and you go to the doctor or the chiropractor, you're like, well, my foot really hurts.
Yeah.
He's like, well, it's just worn out. He's like, well, can't you do some kind of surgery? You do it for athletes all the time. He's like, yeah, well, you're not an athlete, and it's just a couple of maybe Advils, maybe fine,
Yeah.
get a cane. But I found that even with older people and the arthritis, right? Coming to you guys at a religious basis almost. Keep that going.
Motion.
Keep some motion going, because there's nothing worse, and I've had this happen, where you can't sit, you can't stand, and you can't lay. Then what do you do, right? Because the pain is so severe between, what is it, sciatica or
sciatic disc. They are similar in their pattern. Yeah.
Right.
And everyone wants to know, like, well, I have arthritis. Like, what can you do for me, right? Well, you can never reverse arthritis. You can slow its progression, and the way you do that is movement and motion. You're getting that when you get adjusted, when you get a massage, when you work out. You just got to keep going because it wants to set in and make you not move.
Wow.
Right? That's just how it is. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like you guys are, you're doing the Lord's work over here, man. You're helping a lot of people.
Thank
That's
you,
good
Drew.
stuff. I know you got a pod, you got your own show coming up soon.
Yeah, we got to figure out the name.
Yep, that's all right.
We were talking some names.
We'll help do a blast for you guys on that, so people can watch it. And if anybody wants to pop in over at A to Z.
I see what you did there.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Crack the door open.
You can go visit my friends, the Crackheads, at A to Z Chiropractic.
We're really not crackheads.
We have a lot of fun. Go in there. Let them know, hey, Chamber sent me. They're chamber to chamber. Their member to member discount is more or less come in for the free consultation. Let them just, it doesn't cost you a dime for them to have a conversation with you. And if you're in pain, or if you think that, nobody can do anything, everybody's tried, try again. If you only fail when you stop trying.
Yep.
So go check them out. A to Z Chiropractic. Zach, thanks for coming in today.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yeah.
How else do they get a hold of you?
Should I get my cell phone
Yeah.
number? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
So if somebody wants to make an appointment or visit your website, where are they going?
So the number 2 zchiro.com, or the phone number is 847-987-5785. 5085. We are down the street from the Crystal Lake Post Office behind Target. That's usually how you tell people.
Yep.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah.
Right by the credit union.
I don't like Target. Sorry, Target.
And then there's fun videos that you guys do. Your in between lunch hours and stuff like that,
or just random videos. Yeah. But I think like from at least like my standpoint, like a lot of people love to see that like they love to see, right, like your genuine side and stuff. And it's not that office where you're going to be like walk in and be so nervous. I think that kind of like eases people up too, right? You know, we're like, hey, what's up? And just kind of,
well, you guys are
make it again, going back to that, you know, like that family feeling.
To be authentic, right? You guys are authentic. You this is who you are. And
this is how we dress.
And if Zach comes out dancing on his tippy toes, I mean,
that's why it's fun having conversations with you guys. That's why having you on the podcast with it, you know, is awesome. This is going to be a great episode. So I, you know, would love to have you guys come back. I know registration is closed, right?
So far, yeah.
Wow, yeah, we booked out pretty quick.
Yeah,
well, awesome. That's good news.
Yeah, we'll open it back up in a few months, but for right now, we're full pretty much for the rest of the year.
Yep, that's awesome. Well, hope to see you guys soon. Not because I have to, Doc, but because it's just to have fun.
Because we're friends.
Because we want to.
Yeah, because we want to.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, hey, listen. Thanks for joining. Thanks for chiming in the Chamber Chatter. Am I forgetting anything, Nick?
No, I don't think so.
I think we got it all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Can we smile and wave to the camera?
Yeah.
You can.
Hey, until next time. I'm Drew Casaccio, your humble representative here at the Crystal Lake Chamber of Commerce. Nick Kubiak behind the mic in the producer's booth. Zach, Karen, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Till next time, guys.